I was in Paris, France, here in the spring of 2025, and I took a tour of Montmartre, where a lot of the artists have gathered in Paris over the decades and centuries, including Pablo Picasso, 100 years ago or so, and saw some of the places he lived and where he worked. And then on the flight home, I was watching a movie called Lee, L-E-E, for Lee Miller, the main character. She was a model who became a war photographer, fashion model, and then photographer for Vogue-magazine, and then a World War II and Holocaust photographer. And I found that her story, and particularly the story of one of her friends, Solange, the fashion editor at Vogue, real inspirational. So I wrote this song. It's called "The Fight for Freedom Was in Vogue." In the south of France, they're laughing in the warmest summer sun, topless round the supper table, amply unashamed. And Guernica, she cries out for her no more crying child. A lonely bird sings about how things just might be getting wilder. Dearly, with most unglamorous of covered up girl shots, nurses on the battered beach in bloody Normandy, a Viennese soprano sounds the saddest German wail when the Allied bombs brought down the house where Mahler's operas ran. She turns the camera on herself in Hitler's stately bath. I'm flying home to a bloodless revolution in America, remembering when the bloody fight for freedom was in vogue. Pablo said the sane response to tyrants was to sing. Pablo said the sane response to tyrants was to sing. Solange, she's running photos on the cover of the magazine, women wearing little bobs and curls of victory, to keep dear Rosie's glorious locks from getting all caught up in the Nazis' D-Day energy, war machinery, and the time it took Solange's boy to turn into a man. They locked her up in Fresno's prison, his father in a camp. Their little prince, he went to fight the Germans at the border in the Moselle Valley. There he fell, his father 6 months later. And she turns the camera on herself in Hitler's stately bath. I'm flying home to a bloodless revolution in America, remembering when the bloody fight for freedom was in vogue. Pablo said the sane response to tyrants was to sing. Pablo said the sane response to tyrants was to sing. The billionaires are waging war where we human life and death at stake, in symbiosis with the trees. My firstborn, she got redeployed from the mountain forest theater. They squashed her bold resistance in this genocide of nature. She turns the camera on herself and Hitler's stately back. I'm flying home to a bloodless revolution in America, remembering when the bloody fight for freedom was in vogue. And Pablo said the same response to tyrants was to sing. Pablo said the same response to tyrants was to sing. Pablo said the same response to tyrants was to sing. Pablo said the same response to tyrants.